talking today to Marc Lammers, the coach of the Belgian national side, the Red Lions. He's been making quite a turnaround to that team in recent years. Marc, thank you for taking the time to spend with me. What has been the secret of your success with the Belgian team, turning the fortunes of the side around, do you think?
Well, I think the secret is starting 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the federation started a new project that it calls Be Gold.
Yes.
That young players, under 14, under 16 or 18, the best of Belgium, are training twice in a week together. And that was the start of the success of Belgium. So I was not there. I'm only in the last 2 years there.
Yes.
It's more the work of the Belgian Federation. There was a good plan. And they start training a lot with the youth players, and that's why all our players are more or less 20, 22 years old, and
yes.
They are now in the national team. So it's a work of 10 years, and that's a secret. The only thing I can add is to get the confidence and to train just from the last details to get better. But the biggest work already done in Belgium.
Okay, so the bulk of the work has been done, and the details. Talk to me about the details. What are the critical factors in developing a winning hockey team?
A lot of things. It's difficult to tell in 10 minutes, but it all has to do with a plan. I think winners have a plan, losers have an excuse. So we always try to plan the things, and then all the players have their personal development programs. So
yes.
their individual programs, and we have team programs.
Okay.
And in individual programs, I think that's a big step we make with the individual skills of the players and the individual fitness.
Yes.
If you see, the Belgian team is really a fit team.
Yes,
I think normally Australia is the fittest team of the world, but I think Belgium is close, and that's the strength of Belgium. And I try to add that we have to use the strength and don't train too much on weakness. Train on your strength,
yes.
because I never won a game on my weakness. So
no.
so focus on your strength, and that's the thing I add in the Belgian team. But they already were strong.
Yes.
I couldn't play this system because we play more than Australians than the Dutch team.
Yes.
We don't play man to man. We play zonal,
Yes.
and it's more the game of Australia because I like the attacking style of play.
Yes, it's very attractive. Talking about attacking style of play, how important is it in the modern game to have a specialist drag flicker?
Well, I always say that the most important players are the PC player and the goalkeeper.
Yes.
That's the most important players. So if you have a very good penalty corner like the Dutch has with Van der Weerde, then it's easy for them to win games. Maybe they're not the strongest team, they have really good key players.
Yes.
And that's important. But in the Netherlands they train a lot on it, and they train when they're already 12 years old. And
yes.
those things is really difficult to change in 1 or 2 years. You have to develop that in the youth programs, and that's also what we are doing now in Belgium, to get some young guys in the team who are really good penalty corner.
You're bringing through these young fellows now. Obviously you have this squad, and the squad is probably that given size. When you're selecting your team, eventually it comes down to 2 players. The very last place is available, and you're looking at 2 players. How do you select one player over the other player for the very last spot?
First of all, I watch to where is the strength in my team, where's the key players, and those key players, they make the difference in big tournaments.
Yes.
So then I watch what do they need. If you have 6 key players, what do they need? Do they need a left attacker who defend well or
yes.
attack well? So that's I built the team around those key players, and then you have to see which guys you select, what's good for them. And maybe it's not the best hockey player, but it's the best for the team.
Yes, it's a very good team idea.
Yeah.
So now that you have your squad selected, right down to the final grouping, how do you motivate your players?
For me, important if you want to motivate players is that you have to make them owner of a plan.
Yes.
So I don't tell them what to do. I'm always asking things. What do we want to reach? How do we want to reach? Which things do we have to do? It's all open questions. So we try to get a lot of open questions, because if I ask an open question, first they have to think, then they have to come out with an answer. And if you're allowed to do that answer, if you're allowed to do your own personal development program, and you're also allowed to do it,
yes.
you run for it, you fight for it, because it's your plan. because you're owner of the plan. So I think motivation is really important, that you get ownership by the players,
Yes, yes.
and not by the coach, but the ownership has to be the players. I don't tell them how to play, they have to decide how to play. And then you get also coaching players. They can coach themselves, they can coach the system. That's important for me for motivation. The other important thing in the motivation is that they focus on strength and don't focus on weakness. I think self-confidence is one of the most important things of a player, a hockey player. So we try to put a lot of energy in the good things and not in the bad things.
Okay, well now you've got your motivated player, something isn't going right with this player for some reason, always a few problems here and there. How do you criticize the player? Not necessarily criticize, you understand what I'm saying.
No, we try to improve the things, maybe things we have to change or things we have to train. We try to improve it individual.
Yes.
Of course, you also have to work on the weakness, but that we always do in individual programs. And in team trainings, we focus more on strength.
Yes.
Because if I learn how to play the ball to you, where your strength is, then I also play the ball in the game to you.
Yes.
If we train a lot on the bad things, then we also do it in the game. So that's dangerous, because you're copying your movements and what you train. So in individual we work on weakness, and in the group we work more on strength.
Old style hockey, we used to have a fullback, left fullback, right half, etc. These days we see the players, the modern style of game, especially Australian, the style you're developing now, where the players are running all through the lines, changing positions, swapping forward, backs, halves.
It's multifunctional, yeah.
Multifunctional, correct. How do you develop that in a player?
Well, that means that in the youth you already have to work on it. Every attacker has to train defense, has to defend well. And many years ago with attackers you only train attacking, but I think the attackers has to learn to defend, and defenders has to learn to attack. So that's a more general program, and it's not only a fixed program only for attackers or for defenders. And so you have to train both, and you have to do it in different styles, not always maybe in hockey style. Maybe sometimes we play soccer and we put the attackers in defense, and we put the defense in attack, and then it's a different sport and different action and different style, but you can learn a lot from it if you get diversity in your performance.
When one of your high strikers receives the ball, what's the first thing he should do?
Watch. Before you get the ball, he has to watch.
Before he gets the ball, yes.
Yeah, before you get the ball, we call it pre-scanning. He needs to watch where the next ball has to go, and he has to screen where the opponents are and where the other guys are. That's the most important for me, is vision. And pre-scanning is the secret of hockey. I think if you see football, they are only soccer and only pre-scanning. That's important.
So when that high striker has the ball, do you have any rules about when he should take on the defense, or when he should lay the ball back? Do you have a rule that governs any of that?
No, there's no rule. They have to watch their possibilities to pass back, the possibilities to go alone, the possibilities to play to another striker. It all has to do with your vision, and it's really difficult to tell a player you have to do this, you have to do that, because every situation is different.
Yes.
They have to learn. That's why for me it's really important to get the ownership to the players and not to the coach.
Okay. Final question. The rules of hockey change every second year, it seems. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad, and sometimes we have an experimental rule. If you could change one rule in hockey, what would it be and why?
Then I would play 4 times 20 minutes and not 4 times 15 minutes.
Yes.
Because I like to see hockey, and I like to see hockey if the game is going on and the team is in a flow, and,
yes.
and they're playing in a really high rhythm. And well, I see more often open hockey if players are tired,
yes,
than if you have rest again. And so for me, 4 times a period is okay. 4 times 50 minutes is for me is too short. You have to play 4 times 20 minutes, and to get also nice hockey. If players are tired,
yes.
they make mistakes, and that's hockey.
Okay. I want to just change to one other subject for just one moment, if I